Dale, there's a schoolyard fight brewing in some suburban school districts, and it involves more than what's being taught in the classroom. Some parents argue that students' dress codes and the way they're being enforced are unfair and that they actually discriminate against girls. As an essay on Jazeera.com points out, one such debate is happening right now in New Jersey's South Orange Maplewood district. So we're joined by two parents from that district, Duggan and Michael Kasdan. Thank you both for being with us. Lisa, let me start with you. You began having an issue with the dress code. Specifically, last spring, your daughter was about to start middle school. What about it made you think that girls were being unfairly targeted?
Well, girls were being singled out in the messaging from the school, in the morning announcements, in emails that came out. It was specifically girls that were being told to mind the dress code, be aware of their dress, not mention of boys.
Is that by nature of the fact that girls were wearing more provocative clothing?
Well, I mean, it's hard to assess the student body that way, but they were wearing shorts. It was hot. It was springtime. There's not air conditioning throughout the school. So they were wearing weather-appropriate clothing.
Michael, you have concerns about the messaging that boys are actually receiving as these dress codes are being enforced. Why?
I do. Thanks for having me here this morning.
Thank you.
I saw the same messages we've been talking about, the same email blasts coming from the principals saying, you know, mind the dress code. We're concerned about our young ladies. And I look at it from the perspective of boys as well. My son, Jacob, is in the middle school, and I think the same messages that are saying, you know, girls, you're being a distraction. When boys hear that, I think they're hearing, you're boys, so you're going to be distracted from girls. And I think that is also a problem. So
they're making a lot of presuppositions, you're saying, about boys. I think you said in the pre-interview they're just assuming all boys are bags of hormones.
I think I may have said something like that. But no, I think this is a time for kids to be learning about who they are and how we're going to move in this world. And we're going to be working next to and being next to women, and women have legs and shoulders. Right. And I think it's important that this is a time where the messaging they should be getting from authority figures, from schools, from the administration, isn't that, hey, you're going to be distracted from girls, and that's the way it is in this world.
But certainly, dress codes have been around forever, and certainly as parents, you both agree that there is clothing that is appropriate for school and clothing that might be a distraction.
Absolutely.
So what's the balance here?
You know, that's interesting that you said that, because you would think that the messages that were going out were a reaction or a response to the fact that many girls were dressing outside the dress code, but they weren't. And that's why it was alarming also, that we thought that they were, for instance, looking at the length of shorts a little too closely in terms of the administration, when these girls were not really dressing outrageously or trying to express themselves. They're middle schoolers, and that also has a lot to do with it. I thought in the middle school is not the time so much that kids are trying to, you know, push the envelope. That happens more in high school. So those messages, I think, were confusing for kids. Right. I know they were confusing for the girls.
So, Michael, how is this going to end? I know that there have been talks with the school district. Are you finding compromise there?
Yeah, I mean, I know you let in saying, you know, it's a playground battle, but I think I'm happy to report we're thrilled with the reaction that we've gotten from our district. I think they're taking a very progressive look at things. We have a group of parents, myself and Lisa, Jennifer Weiss-Wolf, Niv, Mia Soto, and Shayna Lindsay. Their daughters, Niv and Shayna, were involved in a group of girls, middle school and high schoolers, that started a movement with the hashtag I am more than a distraction.
So the children are also taking
so what we have, are the kids taking ownership of the issue. I think it's a great thing for kids to be thinking about. They've shown that they can be involved in the discourse on this, and the administration has really been receptive to our group of parents, to the kids. We had a meeting with them on Monday because we started writing letters at the end of the school year. We picked it up in the fall, and they're already working with students, have a representative to get input from the students, and they're working to revise the dress code, and we're going to stay involved in that process. And I'm very hopeful.
It's a debate happening at schools around the country. Lisa Duggan, Michael Kasdan, thank you both so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.